Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Jay-Z Bottom Lip, and today I'm going to be explaining to you the easiest to hardest characters to learn in Mortal Kombat 1. Now, I wanted to make this video probably like the week after the game came out, but I felt like there was still a lot more I had to learn. My main in Mortal Kombat, or my favorite character, I should say, is Shang Tsung. I like Shang Tsung because in every fighting game, I play sorcerers. I love characters with projectiles. I love characters that throw stuff. I like characters with books and they casting spells, witch, warlocks, mages, all that. So I fell in love with Shang Tsung for that reason. And then on top of that, my mindset in every fighting game is that I paid $100. I better learn, or I better have learned every single character in this game. Like, I didn't spend $100 just to play Scorpion or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's my mentality. So I like Shang Tsung because he can also transform into every character in a game, and you can play as those characters. He's a little different from MK11. In MK11, you had to steal your opponent's soul, and then you were able to play that character. Because what happened in MK11 was he would steal your soul, knock you to the ground, and then reset neutral. In this game, he can just transform into you or transform out of you at any time that he feels like it. He doesn't even have to do a combo in order to transform into you, which I think is a beautiful thing. So I'm saying all that to say is that I'm able to be, you can actually want to of me. I have learned every single character in this game. I feel like I'm one of the best people to ask or learn from when it comes to understanding the character. So with that being said, I wanted to explain to you guys the easiest to mid to hardest characters to learn in Mortal Kombat 1. I'm going to try to go through this really fast, so I hope you guys are paying attention. Let's just go straight down the line. As far as in Lui Kang, I will put Lui Kang at the easiest character, one of the easiest characters to learn in this game, from his B&Bs being very optimal, easily to understand or easy to execute. It doesn't take a lot to learn this character. And then on top of that, even if you don't learn the B&B and the optimal combos, you're still going to do a lot of damage just off of one bar. He's very self-explanatory when it comes to punishing and reversing against your opponent. He's just very straightforward. His zoning is really good. His spacing is really good. He has auto shimmies. He has a lot of things that he has in his archetype that basically other characters don't, and they have to utilize or learn how to do. Liu Kang just does it automatically. The same goes with Raiden. Raiden's also a very easy character to learn. You're most likely just going to be doing down poke into special move a lot of times, or you're going to just be using 4-3 or 2-4-2 to basically take your turn back or punish your opponent. Your combos are very, very simple. Your game plan is very simple. It's just going to be able to chip your opponent, strike, throw, and overhead to low mixes and condition your opponent in that sense. You're just going to be chipping at your opponent the whole entire game. It's very, very self-explanatory, very straightforward character as well. Liu Kang, I apologize. Kung Lao. Kung Lao is a little. He's something. He's something, and the reason being is that I would put him mid, but I'm gonna put him at easy for now. The reason being is because a lot of times, yes, his combos are very, very easy, but a lot of times too, he has to learn how to use his 2-1-2 to open you up. But in this game, 2-1-2 is actually a very easy combo starter and one to basically hit confirm, just because it's a 3-hit move. So a lot of times when a move is 3-hit moves, it's usually very, very easy to hit confirm. But the only thing that I would say is a little mid about him is that learning his combo routes and utilizing his optimal damage with certain cameos, especially like Goro, it's not something that you kind of learn yourself. You don't have to necessarily look up a video or like understand how to play this character. Other than that, he's super easy as well. Geras. I would put Geras at it's so weird because this game is a little different. So for me, it's a little easier to learn. You don't see a lot of Geras players. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Geras at hard. And the reason being I'm putting Geras as a hard is because you don't see a lot of people playing this character. And on top of that, he has to use certain moves to basically take his turn. So he uses back one. Back one is his move where he like throws his hand over his shoulder or something like that, and he hits his opponent. He can backdash into another one if their opponent likes to counter poke, and he can hit confirm it. A lot of his combos are off of the Kung Lao, and it's not easy to learn. Like, you can basically freeze your opponent in time 3 times, and you can snap your fingers too, and learning all that takes a little more time than all the other characters in the game. And then on top of that, since no one's really playing this character, I'm gonna put him at hard just for the simple reason that you don't see this character as much. So it seems as if it must be hard for other people. For me, I would put him at mid because it took me a little longer than all the other easy characters to learn. But I'm gonna put him at hard just for the simple being of this video. Lee May. I will put Lee May at mid. And the reason being I'm putting Lee May at mid is because her combos are very, very easy by herself. But if you want to utilize Cameo, she's a little tricky, not too hard. And then on top of that, she has a 7 frame, I believe, or a 6 frame reversal. So a lot of times when your opponent like down pokes, you can actually punish that with Lee May and you can get a full combo with Scorpion. That is a little hard to learn. But that's the only thing about Lee May that's a little hard to learn. It's actually extremely hard to learn. So I kind of put her at mid just because if you don't learn that and you just play her all the other ways, she's very, very easy to learn. So we're going to put her at mid. Kitana, I'm going to put Kitana at mid. The reason being is because her combos are very, very easy. Midstream is very, very easy. Her optimal combos in the corner are they take a little longer to learn. But other than that, I think she's a very, very easy character to learn. But as far as in like learning how to open up your opponent, shimmy games, and whiff punishing, it takes a little more. Unless you're going to be mimicking another person's playstyle, then it could be a little easier. But when you're playing against someone who's really good, you can't necessarily mimic someone's playstyle, especially when you're playing Kitana, because we all know what Katanas want to do. They want to backstab into forward one or back one, whatever that string is, and then whiff punish you for it. But if you anticipate that and learn how to play against that character, that one move can make or break her. So you would have to learn her a little more into depth rather than just learning how to do combos with her. So I'm gonna put her at mid. Mileena is a very, 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 very easy character to learn. But if you're unfamiliar with how cameos work, she could be a little tough. So I'm going to put her at mid. And the reason being is because a lot of her combos, and if you want to do some cool little combos with her, there's 2 different routes. You can do the aerial type of combos, or you can do the one where she kind of just EX ball rolls and then she gets a combo off that, depending on if you use Jack, Scorpion, or whatever cameo that allows her to get a combo off of her EX ball roll. Other than that, I think she's a very straightforward character. She's very easy to learn. She has every tool in the game to play it. I would think she goes mostly 5-5 for the whole cast, just for the simple reason that she has a lot of tools and utilize tools that can basically help her against any player, good or bad, or competitive or non-competitive player. Tanya, since I main Tanya, I'm going to put Tanya at mid. And the reason why I put Tanya at mid is because, yes, you can utilize Scorpion, or you can play her in a way where you just utilize 4-4 and backstep into sweep or stand 1. But when you're playing against someone really good, they can whiff punish you for doing all those things. They can space you out as well. You have to create a lot of mind games with this character because she doesn't necessarily have auto shimmies, but she does have very strong strings where you can catch your opponent off guard. But when you're playing someone really good, they're most likely going to be oppressing you. So you have to learn how to be patient. You have to learn how to use your character to a full extent. And that can be a little challenging too, especially when you're playing against high tier characters. And if you're playing against like Kenshi, if you're playing against Smoke, Raiden, and Kung Lao, Lui Kang, those characters give you a little tough time. Even though some people consider her to be S tier or A tier, she is a little hard to use. We're not talking about necessarily combos. We're talking about utilizing this character, okay? Scorpion, I will put Scorpion at easy as well. Once you learn how to do his aerial combos, he becomes very, very, very easy. There's only one type of way that you can do his combos in the air. It's not like you can like do stand 1 and then jump back up in the air. He's a very straightforward character, and I think they did this on purpose. It's like introducing you to cameos and introducing you how this game works. I feel like that's always been a thing with like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They always utilize the game mechanics to get new players into the game, and also have a little fun that's a little challenging combos, but not too challenging where it doesn't make you want to play the game. So we put Scorpion at easy. Also, Scorpion he's a starter character, so he literally has everything that you would want in the character. He also has good spacing, has good zoning, has good buttons. He has a good whiff punishing string. He has good pokes, good reversals, so on and so forth. The same goes with Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is not a hard character to learn either. He's not a hard character to utilize as well. His game plan is straightforward. From the competitive to casual players, the play style is going to be very, very similar. The only difference is they're going to be creating different mind games and staggering and hit confirm off of one button, and creating mind games off of 1-2 and back 2. That's the only difference with that. Other than that, this character is very, very straightforward, easy to learn. As far as in Reptile, oh man, I'm probably gonna get a lot of controversy for this, but I'm gonna put Reptile at hard, and the reason being is because first of all, this character takes a little longer than easy. He also takes a little longer than mid, and then on top of that, understanding how this character plays at a high level is a little different than casual play. And then a lot of times you're going to be whip punishing your opponent, and then he has slime balls that go in different directions. You got to remember which one did you use so you don't change up your combo. And then on top of that, he has a little weird combo where he can extend his combo with Scorpion. You can go look at Honeybee for that. It's a little challenging to learn, but not too challenging. But again, this character overall is kind of hard to utilize, especially in high level. Only a few select people can really play this character and win against me. I'm going to brag and say that I don't lose to this character at all, really. The only person I ever really lost to is probably what was his name? But you could probably look up the video, so I'll probably put the video in the description. Other than that, I've never lost to a Reptile player. This was like the only Reptile player I ever lost to. But it just goes to show like how strong this character can be when you learn how to use him, and he does great damaging. Great damaging if you learn how to do the optimal combo routes. It takes a little time to learn this character. You don't see a lot of people playing this character, and even if you do see people playing this character, they're not really that good with this character as well. So he has a skill gap in him. And again, I appreciate anybody who still plays this character. I think he's a very strong character, and he can be very strong in high level, especially depending on what cameo you use. Smoke. I'm going to put Smoke at mid, and the reason being is because people are arguing and say Smoke's not easy, his cancels are not easy. Bro, I can sit here and show you right now his cancels are not easy. I mean, they are easy, okay? First of all, they're very easy, but that's coming from someone who plays fighting games and play them at a high level. So I have to contribute that when I'm making this video, and I can't be biased and be like, oh, this is easy. I have to think of it from a casual standpoint, a competitive standpoint, and people who just enjoy Mortal Kombat for what it is. So I'm gonna put him at mid just because his cancels a little hard. His combo routes are very easy. And then sometimes I think it's a little challenging to forward 3-2. And then cancel and then do the standing 3-2 into combo. It's a little tricky, but not too tricky. But if you're unfamiliar with how Mortal Kombat and how fighting games work, it can be a little trickier to learn or on the trickier side. So we're going to put him at mid. Also too, like with Smoke, his game plan is very straightforward. And the only time that he becomes a struggle for people is when he goes invisible and then you have to guess regain. I think once you learn how to play the easy character and learn how to play against learn how to use these other characters like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Once you learn how to play these characters, then you can take it a step further and learn Smoke. You can learn Tanya. You can learn Mileena. But sometimes people like these characters off rip, so they're going to learn how to play Mileena. Just know that the learning curve to understanding the game may take a little longer, but also sometimes too, if you catch on the games quicker, it'll be easier for you as well. Rain, you don't see a lot of Rains, okay? You don't see a lot of Rains. To utilize this character to his full potential is very hard. Very hard. Rain's one of my other mains as well. I still don't even utilize all his strings for two reasons being. The reason being is because a lot of times people don't get hit by those moves. There's no reason to use those moves, and all the other moves that you utilize the most are more effective than the other strings as well. He can do all types of crazy combos. He has a lot of good pressure. He can overwhelm you. He has great buttons. He has an armor breaking move. He has a move where he can cancel and move into a throw, which is very strong. So I mean, he has so many different tools that you can utilize. He doesn't really have a lot of reversal moves where he can take his turn back. So that's something that you have to think about when playing this character. You don't really have those type of strings. You have down 3, but down 3 is a little slow on startup, so you can get it. Sometimes you can get abused. You most likely will be doing like down poke into Geyser into cameo to make yourself safe or so, just because you want to be able to create some space with that character. Other than that, I think he's a very hard character to learn. We're not talking about combos. That's not necessarily the combo. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about utilizing the character. Johnny. I think we'll put Johnny at mid. And the reason being we're putting Johnny at mid is because when you have to use star power. Star power is part of his kit. If you're not utilizing star power, you're not playing Johnny. And star power becomes a little hard to use when you're unfamiliar with it. And on top of that, when you go to the lab, you have to build meter, and then you have to learn how to do it. If you mess up, you have to build meter, do it again. So it takes a little time to learn. If you're not using star power, Johnny becomes very easy. His combo routes are all the same. They're very cool. They're very flashy, and they're very exciting to hit and land in tournament or in casual play. He's a very strict character. He has everything you want in a character. A 9-frame mid. He has a lot of plus frames. He can overwhelm his opponent. He has good strike throws. Just a character that you would want to learn in this game. And very effective. We're gonna put Kenshi at hard. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with it. He's a puppy character. Most of the time with a puppy character, you have to hold a button, let go of a button. You have to like remember how to basically know which button to use when you're using another string. So like you're controlling two characters at one time, which is a little challenging. But once you get the hang of it, it's very, very easy. But again, he's a very challenging character. Not a lot of people can play him. You'll probably see maybe about like 10 good Kenshis overall in this game. Other than that, just the simple fact that like Kenshi, if you learn like one Kenshi combo with Sentos, you're gonna be a problem. I'm not gonna lie. So there's two things you want to learn with Kenshi. You want to learn how to continue pressure on block with him, and then if they get a hit, overhit or low, you need to learn a combo. And then on top of that, if you do get a hit confirmed, you need to learn how to do a combo that does good damage. Other than that, that's just literally Kenshi. Kenshi is a problem, and Sentos stays out so long that you have to guess for game for so long. So we're going to put Kenshi at hard. As far as in combo routes, even though I said that we're not going to talk about combos, other than that, because you have to utilize Sentos. And a lot of times Kenshi is not strong without Sentos. But then let's say that you do hit confirm your move, you have to use Sub-Zero, because Sub-Zero allows you to freeze your opponent, pull out Sentos, and then do a combo. So that's like literally your whole like your archetype of that character. So this goes against kind of the video, because we say we weren't talking about combos, but a lot of times with Kenshi doesn't get started until he freezes you and pulls off Sentos, and then you have to learn the block pressure, you got to learn the combo routes. So it's a learning curve when learning that character. Baraka, we're gonna put Baraka at easy. I feel like Baraka is very, very straightforward. He's very easy to learn. He kind of does everything for you. You just sit back and enjoy the ride kind of character. He's going to do chip for you. He's going to do pressure for you. He has good buttons for you. He has a lot of safe launchers. He doesn't necessarily have anything really negative except for like back 3-2 or back 3-1. It's like one of the strings that, not the one that you can duck, but the one that it comes in as a mid. You can punish that. Even though back 3 is punishable, a lot of people don't punish it because it does a good job at spacing your opponent out. He's very straightforward. He's going to get the job done. A very strong character. To say the least. I feel like anybody can play this character once you learn the block pressure and your combo routes, and you're good to go. Havik, I'm gonna put Havik at hard. The reason why I'm putting Havik at hard is because sometimes, depending on what cameo you use, he's a little challenging, and then on top of that, you don't see a lot of Havik players who are very good at this game. Havik is in a weird part of the game where it's just like, is he good? Is he bad? You can't really tell. But when he's doing good, you can tell he's good. And when he's doing bad, you can tell he's bad. So he's one of those characters like, it depends on the player. The player is the character. I mean, the player is the main one who makes Havik look good or bad. That's one thing you have to keep in common. His combo routes are a little different. They're a little wonky. They're very fun. They're very flashy. They're cool as hell to look at. I like the whole archetype of this character. He's amazing. But as far as in like learning how to play this character on the highest level, since his strings are a little slow, it's a little challenging. You'll be playing off your poke a lot of time just to like get your pressure going or get your opponent to respect you. And he has a lot of good plus frames and pressure, so you'll be utilizing that. And if you don't utilize that, he becomes a struggle bus. So just keep that in mind. I'll put Ashrah at easy. Ashrah is a very straightforward, easy character to learn. Even like just utilizing her space and combos and overhead and mix-ups, she's very, very easy, especially with her sister Serena. It makes it very, very easy to extend your combos, go for pressure, and utilize certain strings that you can only do with certain cameos that freeze or allow you to pull out certain other moves when you're using your cameo. So like using Sub-Zero or using Serena, using Goro, Scorpion. Those characters allow you to interchangeably change your play style or use certain moves that you don't necessarily get to use without them. I think she plays the game very well. She's going to do a lot of damage off of the easiest buttons. Like you can do 50% off of like 6 buttons or 5 buttons. So she's very straightforward. I think Sindel, I will put her at mid. She's a very easy, straightforward character to learn in a sense, but a lot of times her combos are they're not hard, but they're a little like you have to. I think of them as like Rekkas. If you're unfamiliar with Rekkas, I'll probably put a video below and explain to you what Rekkas are. It comes from the terminology of Street Fighter, but basically you'll put like a special move into a special move into a special move, and you can stop whenever you want to. And it's kind of like with her, you'll be putting in a lot of inputs just to do a combo in this game with her. She's very cool. She's very flashy. I think her Rekka combos are a little like not hard, but it takes the time to learn. Yeah, and you'll catch on very fast. It's like if you like this character, you'll definitely learn it really fast. I think she plays the game very well. She has everything you want in the character. Armor breaking moves. She has good pressure. She has good stagger, auto shimmies. She has it all. She's a very great character. Good spacing, good zoning, good anti-air, just everything you want basically. Shao Khan. Shao Khan, I will put this character at easy as well. I feel like this game overall, they just made a lot of characters a little more easier than usual to learn so you can get into the game. Shao Khan is a very straightforward character as well. His game plan is straightforward. What he wants to do to you is straightforward. Everyone knows what Shao Khan wants to do. He wants to put the hammer on the ground and then create space. He wants to put the hammer on the ground, overpress you. He wants to put the hammer on the ground and go for 50-50. He wants to put the hammer on the ground and then like zone you in a sense and use a cameo to make himself safe. It's very straightforward what this character wants to do. He wants to put the hammer down. And then from there, he gets a whole different moveset. Good pressure, good combos. He's a very cool character. I think they did a good job with him. I think he's in a good spot too because he's not too strong, not too bad, and he's very fun to play. Shang Tsung. I'm going to put Shang Tsung at. I'm biased. I'm being biased on this one. I'm putting Shang Tsung at hard because this character is not that good. He does not have good buttons. He loses his turn a lot of times. You'll be poking for reversal a lot of times. His combo extensions are a little wonky and a little hard to use if you're trying to use the health spark combos. If you take the time to actually learn them, they're not that hard, but the time is a little hard because they're a command grab input, so you have to push down, back, forward from far screen a lot of times. You'll learn how to do that though, but other than that, I think this character is very hard. You'll be using like back two for mid. You'll be doing your overhead. You'll be doing down three a lot of times. You'll be doing health sparks in the neutral. If you whiff a health spark, then you're punishable, so you got to learn how to utilize it and learn the spacing and where your opponent's at. You'll have to learn how to use your cameo to make yourself safe. He has a lot of gaps in his strings. He has flaws block strings. Oh man, I could go on and on about this character. You'll have to be changing into your younger and older self interchangeably while you're playing the game. So it's a lot to learn in this character. And then he's not too strong. He's kind of closer to like the bad side in my opinion. Like most people put him at A tier. I would put him necessarily at B tier just for the simple reason that it depends on what cameo you're using with him, that he becomes good or bad, because he's going to get overwhelmed a lot of times, and a lot of times he'll be giving up his turn just because of the simple reason that he does not have the buttons to compete against certain characters. Nitara will put at hard. Everyone knows Nitara is a little challenging for most people to play. She is very, very cool. I think she's one of the coolest characters in the game. Her combo is a little cool too. You just have to learn how to play her. A lot of times she doesn't have the buttons to compete against a lot of characters in this game, so she gets overwhelmed. She has a special move that's a high, like her armor breaking move or her armor move to get people off of her. It's a high, so a lot of times you can just poke her while she's doing it, and you can just go back into your pressure. You can make her punishable. You can whip punish her. There's so many different things, so you have to be really, really strong with this character with punishing as well. You have to learn spacing and so on and so forth with the character. I think it's a huge gap with Nitara. Reiko, I think Reiko, man, if I could make, you know what? Too easy. We putting this just for here, just for him, just for him. The reason being is because all he wants to do is throw projectiles. His projectiles are so strong that you don't even have to be good at this game. You just want to throw stuff at your opponent. When they get close enough, do overhead or do sweep into projectile. You can just grab them. You can do ES grab if they want to OS block, and that does a lot of damage. You're going to do damage with Trimmer, and you're going to do damage with Darius. Once you learn that, you're just going to be throwing projectiles the whole game. And then when they get close enough, you're going to ES grab. You're going to hit them with an overhead if they want to OS block, and you're just going to rinse and repeat until the game's over, my guy. That's it. That's it. If anybody got anything to say about Reiko, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. That character is too damn strong for no reason. So, Quan Chi, I would put Quan Chi at I'm gonna put Quan Chi at mid. Quan Chi is a little tougher to learn, and the reason being is because without his down poke being a -10 on block and it being 9 frames or so, he's like it's really hard to take your turn back. But when you're on the offense side, it's so much fun. He's got cool combos, he's got cool extensions, he has crazy setups, have you guessing 24/7. Is really strong, but he loses his turn a lot of times just because he doesn't have the buttons to play the game. I think that's his biggest concern or problem right now. But on a high level, if you're a good competitive player, you most likely know how to utilize his character. That's the reason why I'm putting him at mid. But as far as in like doing his combos and taking your turn back, it's a little challenging. I wouldn't necessarily, you know what? I'll put Quan Chi at hard because he's actually very hard to learn, just for the simple reason that you'll be losing your turn a lot of times. You'll have to learn how to auto shimmy. You'll have to learn spacing. You'll have to understand all these things to play this character. If you don't, you're going to be playing this character very straightforward with like using your standing 2, which is like a move that goes across the screen. You're going to be trying to zone, and like it'll work for a little bit, but then it's not when you start playing against good players. Like it's just not going to work. You're going to have to literally learn this character to its full potential. You're just going to have to. You can't be lazy. Omni-Man, I'm gonna put Omni-Man at mid 2 because his combo routes are not hard, but they are something that you have to learn, and the timing can be a little hard depending on like the connection, the type of person you're playing against. I think he's a very easy character to learn, but sometimes he's a little tough to learn. I don't see a lot of people playing this character as well. I will put him on a list with like Havik, Rain, Reptile, and Geras as far as in people utilizing him. I would say he's underplayed. I know when he first came out, everybody was playing him, but now I don't see a lot of Omni-Mans at all. I think he's a very fun character. He's super good. I think he has a lot of things in the game too to utilize. He has good movement. He has good staggers. He has shimmy games. He has move where he can just negate like projectiles, and then he can come down and punish you for them and certain things. Like he's a really strong character. And it's not necessarily that there's a skill gap, but you have to utilize the whole entire character and the whole archetype of this character as well. I try to make this video quicker than 30 minutes than last time. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions about my tier list, as far as and hard as the easiest characters to learn in this game, just let me know and leave a comment below. Appreciate you guys watching.